I'm Emerson.
I'm Noah.
And we are
Underground Sound.
I'll be playing hip-hop music from underground rappers new school and old school.
And I'll be playing lesser-known hip-hop songs from bigger artists as well as some forgotten classics.
We also do rap album reviews from time to time.
As well as general discussions on everything hip-hop and rap.
So tune in every Sunday from 7 to 8 p.m.
Right here on WSOE.
89.3.
Ain't letting the sucker disturb my sleep. Say it to my face if them words is deep or if I can't even take.
Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to another episode of Underground Sound. I'm Emerson.
And I'm Noah.
And today we sadly are going to be doing a tribute episode for the fallen Nipsey Hussle.
Yeah.
But we're going to get to that in a little bit. But to start us off, before we get ourselves all set, Noah here has a song to play.
All right. So first up, we have On My Block by Scarface. And Emerson has spoken much about Scarface, so go ahead and give this a listen.
All right, and we are back, and we have our guest here. I'll let our guests introduce themselves.
Hello, guys. My name is Zion McKnight. I go by Z Shots on IG.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Or I of Zy. That's my main page, but that's me.
Awesome. Give him a follow.
All right, and as we said, we're going to be talking about Nipsey Hussle, who was gunned down in his own little strip there. He owns a little clothing store where he was shot dead. And this happened just last Sunday,
recently, yeah.
Like morning, kind of.
Yeah,
it was early in the
woke
day.
up to it, yeah.
Yeah. So we just kind of wanted to talk a little bit about his legacy and different things he's done. So really, just to start us off, where were you guys when you heard the news?
So I think I was coming back from spring break. I think I was driving, if I wasn't mistaken. Something around then, and a couple of my friends were just putting in our music group chat. They're like, R.I.P. Nipsey Hussle, and I remember you sent me something around that time, and I was like, no way. This is one of the first album reviews that we did. Was it last year or was it this year?
Yeah, it was last school year.
Yeah, and I remember we particularly really enjoyed his work, and we were always talking about him on each of our shows, and it's just so amazing to think about, like, just with this one piece, just with this one release that he gained so much traction. He was so young. I'm telling you, it's just with a heavy heart that we bring this kind of thing on, because I feel like we've done too many tribute shows in the last year. So.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, I was on my way back from spring break too. Yeah. I had went to Colorado for spring break.
Cool. Good
time, but like on the way back, that was like good trip. But then now you wake up or you see these news, after having a good time, it kind of shakes you up a little bit,
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
But, he was a very, very big artist, guy from Los Angeles, California, that's a big place for the arts, a lot of people look to go there to become big in our industry, and the connections he had, after his passing, you see posts from like Meek Mill, J. Cole, like just from amazing artists, just like all throughout the industry,
All over Twitter, yeah.
It just shook a lot of people. It shook me too, because I'm a big fan of music. Mm-hmm. And the thing I remember most before him going was that the cover of GQ with him on the white horse,
Yeah.
Very symbolic, but like, white horses and just like the color white, represented with angelic,
Right.
That representation, kind of caught me a little bit, but, still a little unshaky or still a little shaky, but, that's life.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And I think it's a good point of conversation to talk about how much came out about how much of a community man he was, and just how much of an influence he had on just a range of different people. Mm-hmm. He was in the works researching for a documentary. Did you see that interview on the Breakfast Club? Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up later. I wanted to get like the more personal stuff out of the way.
Yeah,
Yeah, what do you? I'll let you speak then. What do you got?
Oh no, just that documentary. Just like
we'll talk about it now.
Okay,
so,
let's.
Why
one
not?
of you
Tell us a little bit about the documentary.
Okay, so what is the man's name who he was doing the documentary about? Could y'all?
I don't remember the doctor's name.
I can't quite remember his name, but I remember it was a case in like the 80s, right?
A strong case. He was something about the AIDS epidemic. He was finding solutions to it, but like it was
cure,
he claimed to have a cure for AIDS,
at least the most advanced at the time.
Exactly. And Nipsey wanted to take that into his own hands, bring that to life, but it can't happen now. But the fact that he was going to do something so big, bring a story so big to the light, was very interesting. And the fact that he couldn't do that is like, what, like, yeah, this happened, things happen uncoincidentally, but like, was there a reason behind it? And there's a lot of controversy as to him passing as he was trying to take on that role.
Exactly. Well, with the man himself, it didn't seem like he had any enemies, especially with just how highly people and multiple artists were talking about him and how much he did for just his surrounding area, the community. It's just amazing to think about possible conspiracy theories with this happening. seen threads, and it might just be a coincidence, but it's just hard to believe that there wasn't a motivation behind a 33-year-old man dying at such a young age.
Yeah, so like more on that documentary, the doctor who had a cure for AIDS, he was getting sued by I think the FDA, and he essentially beat the case by proving he had a solution that actually worked, and then he was, I think, mysteriously died or killed off. Or something weird happened to him. Yeah. And so Nipsey wanted to do a documentary about that, bringing that to light, essentially kind of showing a government conspiracy. And then so obviously that's kind of where the conspiracy kind of comes up again, where he dies right when he tries to take upon this. Yeah. So it kind of looks like they're still trying to cover up facts.
Yeah.
But the man who killed him, I believe, according to Rude Jude, I don't know if you guys listened to his radio show at all. They were looking at some things, and they found that it seemed like the guy who killed him was considered like a town snitch, and he was apparently already in an altercation with Nipsey. I guess he also snitched on a friend of Nipsey's, got him in jail like just a couple days ago. So when he came over to Nipsey essentially was just like, get out of here, we don't want you here, like just trying to get him off. And I guess the guy got really angry, and that's what some believe sparked the then anger and rage.
Altercation.
But that's just hearsay still. Nothing's been confirmed, at least from my knowledge. But that's kind of the thing. So that conspiracy did fly around a lot. Do you guys think that had any weight to it, or do you think people are just grasping for anything just to make sense of it?
I think just in today's age of mass communications, people are just looking for some sort of sensationalized story. There could have been something to it, but I mean, there are people who are far more notorious than Nipsey Hussle that are still here. I mean, obviously 6ix9ine's in witness protection, and then you've got like just so many different people in LA who have just, I feel like a lot of rappers have made a lot of enemies, and there's been beefs with that. But I just feel like, at least for me, I personally hadn't heard of any serious difficulties he had with other people that would cause him to be murdered. But it could be a freak thing. It certainly could.
My take on that is like with the hip hop industry, which is very up and growing now, but like where it started, like the roots of it, there was a lot of beef. You know, I don't know if Nipsey had any beef with any artist. I wasn't a huge follower, but like when he passed, that hit me, and that made me want to revisit all the the creations he made, and I became a fan. But beef, you never know someone's motives. There could have been, like you said, like you were talking about Emerson, like something could have happened. The town snitch, something could have happened, but we never know. But the coincidence of that happening, you just never know.
Yeah, it's a rough thing to think about, but maybe more will come to light as the months come on. But, right now it's just we're kind of in the dark, and all we can do is just, pay tribute to him, remember his music, and just really appreciate what he gave us, like, while he was here, too.
Exactly.
Yeah. I don't think the conspiracy has a whole lot of weight. I think the man goes on, or actually, I think he might have just gone on trial already. I think it might have started, but... who knows? Maybe more things will come up, and we'll learn a little more about it. But.
And Dr. C was his name. I remember
Dr. C. Okay. You got a letter. We got something. Fair enough. All right. So you kind of touched on this a little bit, but how much of a fan were you, and how much of his music had you actually listened to prior to this?
So me, other than the GQ magazine, I didn't really know of Nipsey, and then the passing just brought this character to me, and then I found about all the greatness and all like everything about him. But like Dedication from his 2018 album,
Victory Lap?
Victory Lap,
yep.
Yes, I was blanking on it. From Victory Lap was pretty good. I skimmed through it, and that's the one that stuck out to me most, because as I was speaking earlier, as I just arrived, Kendrick Lamar is a big, he's a big artist to me.
Yeah,
I'm a very big fan of Kendrick Lamar, and I notice similarities in the way they rap, the lyricism. They're both strong, and they both speak like about real issues that are going on. And, I had to become a fan,
Yeah,
and I just it was like a negative, and Nipsey was a positive,
Yeah.
Just like he is in the black community, he's a positive. He was a bright light. He was a role model. I was drawn to that, and a lot of people in the black community were drawn to that.
Definitely.
So that's all I got to say on that.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, it's good that even at some point, even in the wake of tragedy, you could find somebody to appreciate and, kind of learn more about him as both a man and an artist. That's something that Emerson and I really wanted other people to do when he was like still here, but. Either way, Victory Lap, I mean, it's just a great piece of work that I feel like, we're going to dive into it pretty soon.
Yeah, I mean, shoot, I was losing my mind. I remember when we did our Grammy episode here on air.
Oh, yeah.
I saw that Victory Lap. I don't know how in the world it got on there, but I was so happy. And it really makes the passing of the album, I think, that much sweeter.
Agreed.
Just kind of sending off with that Grammy nomination out of nowhere. But yeah, I looked into him, I think, about a year before we reviewed it, so maybe it was like a year and a half ago where I
Right.
first came across Nipsey. I don't remember how. Might have been just a YouTube recommendation or
Was
something.
it the Jay-Z story? Because didn't Jay-Z kind of
No.
like buy one of his like first works? It's like 100 copies for $100 a piece. I remember reading
Yeah,
that.
so that there's a story with that. That was one of his earlier mixtapes, Crenshaw,
Okay.
which I actually went back to just a couple days ago.
Yeah, 2013.
Great mixtape.
Yeah.
Really like that one. But Victory Lab is still my personal favorite. But yeah, I became a fan, or not really a fan. I found him a while ago. I thought he was very interesting. I liked a few of his songs. And then I dug into a little more, and I was like, all right, it's not my personal favorite, but I like this a lot. I want to see what he grows into.
Right.
And then Victory Lab came out, and that's when I was like, I was totally hooked. I was a fan then. That album threw me over the edge.
What a studio debut too for like a major label. That was, I mean,
And at the age
fantastic.
of what, 34 when that came out? Because he was 35 when he died, so that he must have been 35, 34,
I thought he was 33. I think I just read that.
33.
Yeah.
He was old for a debut studio album. Like, he just had so many mixtapes.
Yeah.
And he'd been rapping for a while.
Well, I think
Yeah.
it showed with his work, with the final release of Victory Lap. I mean, there was just a lot of thought and care put into that album. From
Yeah.
Emerson,
Definitely
you and
took
I
the
talked
time,
about
yeah.
that. And
Yeah.
then Zion, I'm sure you heard that too when you listened to it.
And from the work from his mixtapes, you can tell he grew.
Yeah.
And and this album was really nice, and you can tell like the differences between when he started to where he is. It's
Yeah.
pretty crazy.
Definitely agree.
Yeah, growth is something I look at in a lot of artists. And
Yeah.
a lot of the smaller names, I usually see a lack of growth. A lot of times they find something that gets them popular,
And they stick with it.
and they just ride
ride it
that
until
out.
it dies down.
Right,
Yeah,
they
exactly.
don't try to get more popular or more famous or get anything higher. They just kind of stick with that. Nipsey, one of those. I mean, I didn't think he was that great at first, but as I dug more into it, I'm
Right.
like, this guy's interesting. He's got something. And then he gave me something that showed a lot of
You know,
growth and a lot of improvement.
It improved each time.
Right.
He
yeah,
was working.
he took the time to get better and get better with his craft, and it definitely showed. And he very well deserved of that Grammy nomination. I was surprised, but very well deserved. It was a fantastic album.
Thank goodness it had some sort of recognition at the Grammys, because, I mean, Lord knows how much we disapprove of some of their choices.
Yeah, we seem to get angry every year, but
yeah, it happens. Hate to
but
see it.
the nomination's nice, and gosh, it was a great album. Have you guys? So you dug into Crenshaw a little bit, you said.
I saw it, didn't touch on it.
Okay.
Did not touch on it. I was looking through his Spotify today, when I checked out Victory Lap. And I was looking through his old albums, I saw a couple of mixtapes, and I saw Crenshaw 2013.
Yeah, that one seems to be like the second best according to his fans.
Really?
A lot of people say it's Victory Lab than Crenshaw, or vice versa. It seems like those two are the ones people mention the most.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
definitely check those two out in
For
particular.
sure.
I saw something. It said like his Spotify streaming numbers
Victory Lap
went up
went up.
like 2,700%. That
Yes.
shows just like how small he was in terms of streams. And how big he got right after. That's crazy.
I feel like that happens just after every artist's death. I have Apple Music personally. It shows like the top trending searches, and after X died, it was like three
yeah.
bars of X.
Yeah.
After Mac Miller died, it was like three
Yeah,
bars of Mac
yeah.
Miller.
Yeah.
It's kind of disappointing to think that people don't appreciate them enough
While they're there.
Yeah, while they're
Exactly.
alive.
Yes.
But at the same time, I mean, it just goes to show at least he's getting the recognition he deserves.
He is. And another thing with that is when they fall, when they die, a lot of, acknowledgement gets brought to that person.
Yeah.
So people
Yeah.
that didn't know about him before now know about him. And
Yeah.
then it just grows from there. Like the views, they go up because these people are now listening to an artist they had never heard before.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, due to his passing, that's how they found out about him,
Well, yeah, he can be used as a motivation. I mean, like just like Tupac and Biggie
Yeah.
died when like a lot of the rappers that are popular nowadays were younger. I think it serves as some really good inspiration and motivation, and possibly a huge influence on people that are just maybe wanting to get into the music industry, just kind of break into the whole rap sphere. I feel like, Nipsey Hussle finally does have that platform.
Yeah, I'd hate to compare the deaths of Mac, X, and Nipsey, but it definitely seems very different because
Yeah.
Sure.
when when Mac and X died, it was like their fan bases, their sectors were very sad. But there were still people who were like, not totally on board or just,
Yeah. Or like, who is that?
But with Nipsey, it was like we said, like his streams were pretty low, and then all of a sudden we got LeBron James wearing a Nipsey Hussle T-shirt at the game.
Yep.
We got Russell Westbrook dedicating his
numbers.
game.
Yeah.
and
Crazy.
What was it, like a 2020?
2020.
Freaking crazy.
Right.
Dedicates that. Like all these celebrities and people out of nowhere are at least aware of him. Maybe they weren't a fan, but they're now becoming a fan. So that's just a really different shift I haven't really seen before in terms of a celebrity's death, of kind of people being
jumping.
introduced to them for the first time like that.
True.
Yeah, it was interesting. I mean, you know what? Keep a low profile. I kind of appreciate about that about him because it seems like so many people respected him, and I haven't seen such just like an outpouring of support for an artist, at least, you know, at his level when he was alive, in a really long time. I mean, obviously he was something special to a lot of these influential artists, and that's something we have to keep in mind. But, you know, I'm glad that Emerson, you and I got to review his album and listen to him beforehand, and I'm glad that you, Zion, got to appreciate what he had and like check out some of his other stuff too. So either way, this whole thing, it's kind of a fiasco, and you know, I think we're all kind of left scratching our heads as to why it happened. But the important thing to remember is just to celebrate the man's work and celebrate his life as well.
Yeah, well, I'm glad you ended with that sentence, celebrate the man's work, because that's exactly what we're going to do right now.
Yes.
So the couple songs that I have lined up here is Last Time That I Checked, featuring YG, Hustle and Motivate, and then we're going to move into Right Hand to God. All, of course, by Nipsey Hussle. Rest in peace. All right, welcome back to Underground Sound. We're still mourning the loss here of Nipsey Hussle. So kind of a little more of the weirder questions. I don't know if you guys remember, but back in March, him and Meek Mill announced they were working on a collaboration album.
Yes, I do remember you saying that.
I do remember.
Anyone have any idea what's going to happen to that now?
You can go ahead, Zion, first.
Well, yeah, I'll take it. So I really wish that would have came to fruition. Meek Mill, big in Philly.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that would have really boosted Nipsey as in terms
that would
of
have been huge
recognition.
for
You know,
him.
that would have been
Agreed.
huge.
Agreed.
The whole, you know, all of Philly would have known Nipsey Hussle then if they didn't. You know, will it come to fruition now? You know, it can't. You know, that's the sad truth. Like, there could be someone to fill his spot, but there's not going to be a Nipsey Hussle.
Nah.
You know, so the fact that that's the reality saddens me, because I would have loved to see Meek Mill and his like way with words. You know, as a musician, Meek has come a long way too. Like, you know, Dream Chasers.
Yeah.
You know, through to where he is now, just the way he speaks, the words he uses, like him as an artist, he's a nice artist, and seeing that combined with Nipsey Hussle would have been nice. You know, I would have loved to, but like I said, that's the sad truth.
Yeah. I also have a little bit of information on it. I was scrolling through some, like, I think it was Twitter reports, and apparently just like, you know, you remember Skins from X, right?
Mm-hmm.
Shouldn't have released.
Yeah, it was a bad album.
So apparently Nipsey Hussle, he did have some more material that I can't remember the name of the producer. Right now they're currently working on releasing like some post-death material, and I don't know if this, I can't say I'm excited about it because I really hope to God they don't disrespect the artists like they've done in the past.
Death.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Because
After
Skins, I don't know if you listened to
I have.
X's most recent album.
Yep.
That was just so halfway there.
That's the one with
you know?
Train Food, yeah.
Yeah, Train Food
I did
and
like
1
Train
Minute.
Food, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the Kanye West one was great, but I
Yeah,
mean,
it's
you know,
true.
I'm hoping it's not half baked because I feel like, you know, if you know the artist, it doesn't diminish them personally, but I feel like it's just a disservice to just sort of do that for money.
Release
you know,
something that they didn't personally release themselves.
Yeah.
Maybe they were sitting on there for a reason, you know?
Yeah, I can agree. There was maybe 2 or 3 songs off of Skins that I thought should have been properly released onto another album. But,
Yeah.
I mean, that's what it is, at least for Nipsey Hussle right now. More reports will follow. But hopefully it's stuff that he at least was very nearly close to finishing or has finished already, and it doesn't have to be just filler, you know?
Yeah, I didn't know that he was has other stuff that might be getting released. And that's a big plus and minus for me because there's definitely artists like Tupac where some of his classics were released after his death, like
Right.
Hail Mary, for example.
Yeah.
Like, so there's definitely a plus side to it, but as we've already mentioned with like X and Skins, like there's some scary things that can happen.
Do you know if Meek and Nipsey were in the works already?
They said they were like in the works. I think that was
so
like
they
the
may have
words.
a few songs conjured up.
That's why I'm thinking
Yeah, I
like,
feel
well,
like they could
maybe
probably
we'll
do
get a song of the two of them.
Yeah.
But like I think there's no way they finished the album and they
Yeah,
were
for
just
sure.
doing finishing touches at this point. So,
That's so rough. That's so rough.
but yeah, when I first heard it was announced, I was super excited because those two really do seem like they're a good match. Like that collab would be really good. But yeah, so I think maybe we'll get a song in like the next month. But I think that might be it. It might just be one song in terms of the collab.
Yeah.
If you've got more stuff coming just in general, that'd be great.
Yeah, definitely. Can't write anything off yet because I haven't heard it, but cautiously optimistic, I guess you could say.
Yeah,
Taking things
yeah,
with a grain of
definitely.
salt. Yeah.
But I really want to hear something from that potential collab because I want to see like where they were going, where their heads
like
were
what they
at.
were thinking, you know?
Yeah, just to see the idea. And even if it was bad, I want to see it.
Exactly.
Yeah, I just want to... That's a shame. That was something I didn't think of that no one I saw was talking about. So I was like, hey, wait a minute, I was waiting for an album from this guy.
Right.
What happened? Another thing that actually got a lot of attention, at least on Twitter, because the final tweet he ever sent out before dying was, in quotes, "Having strong enemies is a blessing." Is that creepy?
Having strong enemies is a blessing. It's very creepy. Very powerful too.
Yeah, I feel like I don't know. I feel like obviously there's that old saying, you can't please everybody, but I feel like being able to get to at least some sort of level of success, that's especially true.
True.
I don't think at least some of his maybe troubles with others were as publicized because he wasn't obviously like of the likes of like, Kendrick Lamar, Jay-Z, Kanye West, Drake. But I mean, I think he definitely did have some enemies. But I mean, with as much as respect that you can get from other people, there's always got to be people that just don't like you, whether it's a valid reason or not. But I really don't. I don't know how to like take that statement because I just haven't seen too much of people really disliking him so much.
Yeah, that's the same with me. I'm like, it's just
could be a general statement.
Yeah, just a weird general thing to kind of say. I don't think, but it's so creepy that that's the last thing you put out on Twitter.
Could you repeat that like statement?
So this tweet was, "Having strong enemies is a blessing."
Having strong enemies is a blessing. That is just like very powerful.
Very last thing you ever tweeted.
Yeah.
For that to be like for the world's, for them to see that as your last words. Having strong enemies is a blessing. Because having strong enemies is a blessing. Rivals. You see like a lot of these kids shows, rivalries and stuff, strong enemies, y'all are growing together.
Yeah.
That's that natural competition.
Sure. Sure.
If you have a strong enemy, that's good competition. And y'all are gonna both, grow from that, from working to compete with your enemy, you're improving. Anytime you're working, you're not getting worse. So for whatever reason, having a strong enemy is a blessing, because like one way or another, you both are growing from it.
Yeah.
Pretty crazy stuff. But like if you got someone that's working hard enough to tear you down, you're doing something right.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. It's kind of a much better way of saying like, haters are my motivation or haters are my fuel. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
the wristbands of
of course. Yeah.
Definitely. Heart my haters.
It's always the people that don't have any either. It's just like those like carefree people. It's like, what do you even have?
Just copying the trends.
Yeah, I just thought that was interesting, worth mentioning. And then a little good news. There have been reports that Jay-Z raised, I think, like $15 million to go to Nipsey's kids and Lauren London, who was his girlfriend.
Good, yeah.
So that's something I just wanted to mention because Jay-Z's been doing a lot of things like this.
Been doing huge things.
And that I honestly think Jay-Z's another person that we got to mention more that the community doesn't really appreciate how much they're putting out in the world.
That's true.
Hopefully we as a society do before he is
that is true.
lost from us.
Yeah,
Jay-Z along with Akon.
Yeah,
Akon is doing
nobody
huge
talks
things.
about Akon.
It's because he does it in Africa, so it's just like it's so hard to even like get that information. I think it's just, but he's doing a lot of great
huge
stuff.
Huge
what I am hearing.
And I mean, we just talk about their music more so
Didn't
than we
he
talk
like make
about
his
their
own currency or something in one of the
like
countries?
that.
I heard about that. Was that like?
I just saw like some headline. Okay. I don't know if anyone had any more information.
I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, this man is actually a saint, but nobody's like talking about it. So,
Right.
Yeah. So Jay-Z, Akon, and sadly Nipsey. They're just all great examples of people, as well as artists. But that was all I had really on Nipsey. Just rest in peace and
rest in peace.
Great role model for the area of LA. Any closing thoughts from you two?
There's this one quote that I read, I think it was a couple weeks ago, saying, and this is especially true, I feel like, in terms of Nipsey Hussle. It read, "You die twice, once when you actually die, and then once when somebody mentions your name for the last time." And I think that Nipsey Hussle, in terms of obviously the latter statement there, that's something that like really moved me, and I feel like people do appreciate him for how he was supposed to be appreciated now. And I think that's just an incredible testament to just like how he's going to help other people learn and how much he's going to be respected. Just like, we've heard it before, legends never die. And I just really appreciate that quote.
That really fits the quote, amazing. My take on it, or my take from this, from Nipsey Hussle, I noticed, and I can't remember where I saw the post, but it was by one of those big social media accounts, but it was a picture of California and all the town gangs coming together for a picture.
Yeah, I saw that.
You saw that? Yeah.
I saw that yesterday or something. Yeah. That just happened.
And I was like, okay, that's amazing. Everyone's coming together. Everyone's bringing peace. You know, they're coming together. Violence, nah, what is that? You know, that kind of vibe. But like, I like that. But like, why did Nipsey have to die for like everyone to get together? You know,
Exactly.
Yeah.
there should be love regardless.
Yeah.
No one should have to die.
And speaking
you know?
on like things Nipsey had done, that was something he was trying to accomplish
Exactly.
his whole life, really.
That's his legacy.
I mean, I know there was a rumor that he was supposed to meet with like the chief of police staff or something in the area to talk about how to fight with like gang violence. I don't know if you guys saw it.
I just know he was very respected by the police.
Yeah, there was
Even
some
the police, they
report
tweeted
of him
something.
trying
Yeah,
to
there's
end.
like quotes on them
Yeah.
saying, you know, they just can't believe this. Like he was just such an inspiration to the community. That's huge. That's something you just don't see every day.
Yeah. All right. Well, I guess that will conclude our Nipsey Hussle tribute. But to, I guess, kind of say thank you to Zion for joining us here.
Anytime.
We have Ace by No Name, Smino, and Saba. All right. Next up, we have Blame It on Jay-Z by Annoyed. Check it out. What do we got next?
So we got Nelly by my man Isaiah Rashad. Shout out to my boy Matt Coy. You know, little shout out, SoundCloud artist. Check him out. Really good stuff. But Nelly, Isaiah Rashad, is his favorite artist. So Nelly's a really good song. He put me onto it actually. So I would, you know, always like listening to it. Why not play it on Underground Sounds?
There we go. Yeah, he's there's rumored to be another album by Isaiah Rashad sometime this year. So I'm real excited for that.
I'm really excited as well.
Sun's Tirade. Have you ever listened to Sylvia's demo? That was his, I think, mixtape before the Sun's Tirade.
I don't think so. No.
I think that's a better one. I'm being
think
honest.
so?
Unpopular opinion. But
Hopping on it. Nah.
Sylvia's demo. I think that's his better mixtape. Really good stuff. But once again, check it out. We were just talking about our wonderful fan base here of parents and a few alumni, I guess.
Yeah.
But, not much. But next up, we have Once Upon a Time by IDK. Do you guys know who IDK is?
Blonde hair.
Yes,
sir.
yeah. He's getting a little popular.
He
He
is,
had
he's
his,
going
like,
up.
I think his debut mixtape just
recently.
like 4 or 5 months ago. It was solid. But I like this song in particular because it's featuring Denzel Curry, who I'm a huge fan of.
Oh, yeah.
That
You a
man
Curry
Denzel,
fan as
that
well?
man Denzel.
Yeah. Yeah, so here we go for you. Once Upon a Time by IDK and Denzel Curry. All right, once again, that was IDK, Once Upon a Time. And that will conclude our episode here of Underground Sound. Any closing thoughts from everyone here?
Thank you, first of all, to Zion for
thank
being
you.
an awesome guest. It was awesome to get your perspective and everything. This is obviously something we love to do. And, I mean, obviously, once again, with a heavy heart, we have to, you know, go through another death of an artist that we really, really love. But, you know, once again, this is about a celebration of that artist. And I think that, you know, just through listening to their work and being able to appreciate and read more about what made them have the passion to do what they did, that's something that we can all appreciate.
Yeah, Nipsey Hussle, amazing artist, amazing individual, man of character. Thank you, Emerson and Noah, for having me on Underground Sounds to discuss it. You know, it's amazing just what you guys have built up here. I would love to see more of it. I wouldn't mind coming to other talk shows just to talk, you know, give my perspective, just because it was fun. You know, the environment was nice.
Definitely have to invite you back.
You
Yeah,
know,
I got
it
a
was
lot
nice.
of topics I want to bring up just in general.
Hey,
So.
I'm very knowledgeable
great
on the
stuff.
topic of music, so
There we go.
Perfect.
we can get
Well, we
into
might be
it.
seeing more Zion then later this term here. But for me, just rest in peace, Nipsey Hussle. That's about all I got.
Agreed.
Well, once again here, we usually go around the table, say our names, and then the little tagline we have to do. Would you like to join us?
Let's do it.
All right. Here at Underground Sound, I'm Emerson.
I'm Noah.
I'm Zion.
WSOE 89.3 Elon, North Carolina.